I'm Julie Bartke with this session update. The city of Minneapolis has come to the table with a plan it says will help finance a new Vikings stadium. It's expected to be on the current Metrodome location, and the Vikings would be expected to pay 45% of the cost. The news conference outlining that plan ended about 20 minutes ago. We want to show you a portion of it right now.
In the long struggle to find a new home for the Vikings and in the long battle to finally end stadium debates, today we have a game changer. We're coming forward with a plan that will deliver not one but two renovated sports facilities, a new home for the Vikings and a new home for the Timberwolves. We can do it for significantly less than it will cost at any other site, and in the meanwhile, we can also deliver property tax relief in the city of Minneapolis. The plan we have today is realistic. We think it's sensible, it's affordable, and it builds on the sizable investments that we already have. It's going to do the following things. It's going to deliver a world-class facility for the Minnesota Vikings on the Metrodome site that will significantly enhance the fan experience, and it will spur new development in downtown East. The second point is it will renovate Target Center, which has been an economic engine for the state of Minnesota. It will create an estimated 9,000 construction jobs at a time when the construction industry is facing a near depression in the state of Minnesota. And it takes the responsibility for Target Center off the backs of Minneapolis property tax payers, thereby delivering $50 million in property tax relief over 10 years. This is the kind of world-class solution that we need. Our governor has called for a people's stadium. We believe this is a people's solution for a people's station. We can do all this also without impacting the property taxes on the city, and in fact, we will lower that. We can also do it because we're building on the core values that Minnesotans have. We build quality, but we also use what we have. The plan's affordable because the infrastructure is already in place. Our roads and our freeways are already there. We don't have to build new sewer systems for here. We not only have transit operations here, 2 light rail lines will stop at the front door of both facilities. And the site is surrounded by tens of thousands of parking spaces. Fans already know how to get in and out of these facilities. With the infrastructure in place, all the public investment can focus on the fan experience. This stadium will do a lot to do that. We recognize that what people want now is a fan experience that's not just about the building, but the site around that. We learned at Target Center what happens when you build not only a building, but you take care of the land around that, the plaza and the many other improvements. So this plan builds in significant resources for a public plaza and streetscape improvements that can weave this into the rest of downtown. There really hasn't been a great example of an urban football field yet. But we want to say that this is going to do for football what we think Camden Yards did for baseball. When that urban park redesigned the way that people go to baseball games, it led to a dramatic change in the way all baseball fields were built everywhere, including Target Field. That's what we will do with this great urban facility that will be woven into the infrastructure of the rest of the city. By doing that, we'll not only be enhancing the fan experience, but increasing the value of the land around that, and the value of that land delivers commercial and industrial property tax increased value to the whole state of Minnesota. Now here's what this plan provides. The state will be responsible for $400 million, or about 45, I'm sorry, let me start again. The Vikings will be responsible for $400 million of the cost, or about 45%. The state of Minnesota will be responsible for about $300 million, and the city of Minneapolis, through these taxes, will be responsible for $195 million. Again, this will have no property tax dollars, and it will be delivering property tax relief in the city of Minneapolis. Here are the resources and the tools that we'll be using to fund that. The first thing we should do is rightfully go at the people who use this the most. Those of us who go to games should pay the most. So there will be an admission tax on stadium events. We're going to increase game day parking. That will involve taxes on downtown parking on Sundays, also using our new smart meters, our parking meters around the site. That will generate part of the revenue, and rightfully, those who park at these games should pay an additional fee. There'll be taxes that are currently dedicated to paying for the Minneapolis Convention Center bonds following the retirement of those bonds in 2020. We are proposing expanding the city restaurant and liquor taxes that are already currently collected only on downtown, and we'll raise an additional 0.15% sales tax citywide, similar to what was done for the Twins Target Field. That will be equivalent to about 15 cents on a $100 bill. The plan will also significantly allow us to pay for what's going on in Target Center, but it will also allow us to take these two facilities and put them together into a coordinated management. We've known for a long time that our sports management in this region has been fractured. This will allow these facilities to be managed jointly, and we can tie other facilities, if they choose, in the region together on that as well. Now, in addition to stadiums, it's important to say that this also delivers a great future for the Minneapolis Convention Center. The Minneapolis Convention Center creates thousands of jobs and is an economic engine for this entire region, filling hotels and restaurants and night spots throughout the entire region. There was one ill-advised plan here at the Capitol that would have taken the downtown hospitality tax that's used for that convention center and taken it for other uses. That would be a terrible idea for Minnesota, and that would be a job killer in Minnesota. This plan allows us to continue to keep the funding in place for that convention center, and that is critically important. There are many people who have been part of this work, and I want to also say that while there has been characterized in recent days as the momentum behind this plan has begun to build, that we were rushing to put a plan together. That is not the case. We have moved very quickly, but this is part of an ongoing strategy we have had for a long time. For many years, the city of Minneapolis has had one clear, clean position on the Vikings. We believe it should be done at the Metrodome site. For many years, we have owned Target Center, and we have believed that that should be renovated instead of building new, which would cost us much more. When the last legislative session ended, we directed our staff to do several things: to fully analyze our hospitality tax, to see what would be needed there, to fully assess what our convention center would need, to come forward with a plan for Target Center, to come forward with a plan for the Metrodome that was realistic. All those were in place. As the session worked out, some parts of that came forward, but when Hennepin County pulled out last week, we were ready. We moved forward with our plan, and it is well planned and well timed, we believe. We believe it's a game changer. We want to thank Governor Dayton, whose leadership on this has been extraordinary. As I said earlier, he's been talking about a people's stadium, and we're delivering a people's solution. One of the great points of that is not only that we're reusing what we're doing and spending less to deliver two stadiums, but we're also having a stadium that will be in the public management. The other proposals, the Vikings would own those facilities. We think the Vikings are a terrific organization, but we believe if the public is putting this much into a facility, the public should own this and manage it for the public so that we continue to have a great incentive to have community-based events such as high school football and college baseball within this facility. This will ensure that the public will have those choices ongoing. We also believe there have been a number of legislators who've stepped forward and taken some great leadership. We want to applaud Senator Julie Rosen and Representative Maury Lanning, who've worked on this for a long time. We know we have a long way to go, but the solution to the stadium debates has been needed for a long time. It is time to finally solve this problem, and today the game has been changed. I want to thank you, and I want to turn it over to two folks here, a few folks who can say more. First, Council President Barb Johnson.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, all along in the stadium discussions, the city of Minneapolis's priority were the facilities that we owned, the convention center and our Target Center, but also the keeping the economic engine that the Minnesota Vikings are in our city. It's very important. So this proposal builds on those core principles of taking care of what we already have. That's been a bedrock principle for us. This plan ensures both the financial future of the Convention Center and the Target Center, which are powerful economic engines for the state of Minnesota, and uses Minneapolis's economic power to help finance a new, sensible stadium for the Minnesota Vikings and the people of Minnesota. Thank you.
Thank you. We are in this discussion because the legislature is discussing a Vikings future. We believe we have a good future for that. We believe it is also critically important at the same time to talk about a future for the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're very happy to have their owner, Glen Taylor, here. And Mr. Taylor, I wonder if you could step forward and just say.
Two observations I'd like to share with you, and I'm repeating what the mayor said on these issues, but I think they're worth repeating. First of all, this is a plan that's been in place for some time, at least the beginning of the plan. We approached the mayor some time ago, let's say a year ago. If they're going to work on the problem of the Viking Stadium, perhaps we should tackle two problems at one time, and the second being the Target Center. They were very open and willing to discuss that. Over this period of time, I would just tell you that I have had the opportunity to work with a lot of different groups, and especially in politics, and I have been very impressed with the mayor's leadership and the council's leadership on this issue, because it's a very difficult one, because as I'm been there and done that, I know that this is not a matter of just going out and raising taxes and doing something for the sports fraternity, that we have a lot of issues here. Through this time, I think just about all of those issues have been addressed, and I just have been impressed how they have it. I would tell you that I've had time, and so have a number of other people, to look at the proposal. This is a real proposal. This is not just on the back of an envelope. This is, I've seen a lot of those over here at the state capitol on the back of an envelope. This is a real plan that I think meets all the needs and stays within the boundary of what we think the leadership over here at the Capitol have asked us to stay at. The second issue is I want to bring up is I am on both sides of this. Not only am I an owner that would hopefully benefit the team that I own with other Minnesotans here in Minnesota to stay in Minnesota in a facility that we can compete, but I'm also a taxpayer. So when I look at the proposal that's being put together, yes, I would say to you, if I strictly was here as the owner, I would like a brand new facility someplace, wherever somebody wanted to help me build that. But being practical and being a Minnesotan and being a leader in both over here at the Capitol at one time and in the business community, I understand that we only have so much tax dollars. And to me, the idea of taking a facility and refiguring it to all the new things that we would need in it to be competitive with our other teams is something that I'm satisfied with. I think it's the right thing to do. I think it's using our taxes wisely. Now, the city has stepped up and made a proposal here.
Again, that was a portion of a news conference from earlier today. Minneapolis Mayor R.T. Rybak led that news conference, and it outlined a new Vikings stadium and renovated Target Center. And as you heard, the mayor said that the new stadium would do for football what Camden Yard did for baseball. The breakdown on the finances: the Vikings would pay $400 million, $300 million would come from the state, and the city of Minneapolis would ante up $190 million. The mayor stressed no property tax dollars would be used to pay for the stadium, and it would actually provide property tax relief. The Minnesota Vikings did not have a presence at the news conference and have not signed off on the plan.